Yeah. Obviously coming off a very, very hard-fought game on Tuesday, and was really proud of how our guys competed. Thought Purdue competed equally as hard, and probably one of the most physical, hard-played games that we've been a part of. Came up a little bit short, but in reviewing the game with our team and some of the things that we did, we have obviously some positives that we can take out of that. That this needs to stay with us as we finish up, the remainder of our last 3 or 4 weeks here as the regular season concludes. Going to Iowa, playing them roughly a little over 2.5 weeks ago in a hard-fought game here. They made some tremendous opportune baskets, at times that were deflating in the game, under 5 on the shot clock, under 2 on the shot clock. They really came up big, making some shots, and we didn't take care of the ball as well as we needed to. And it changed sort of the course of that game at the end of the first half, and they played with a lead. We were able to kind of get it to within 1 possession, but like I said, they made some really key plays down the stretch. So we're going to have to be better in a lot of areas going there on Friday night, in particular being able to play hard without fouling. Foul trouble was a problem in that game. Juwan wasn't able to stay in, and then we're going to have to do a better job taking care of it versus their defenses. And obviously we understand how good they are, especially such a hard place to play. And then after that, obviously we're back at home against a really good Wisconsin team. But for us, we're really focused in on this next one.
Okay. You mentioned after the pregame wanting to see the mindset not only from the game itself, but just the preparation and practice of 48 hours before that's sustained. Are you seeing the desired mindset and approach here in these last couple of days?
Well, we clearly had a really good approach going into the Purdue game. Disappointment over the weekend's game against Minnesota. Had some guys really kind of step outside themselves and communicate, openly, like we've talked about. We had a much better feel, a much better approach. And yesterday, I thought the guys were really good in film and some stuff that we worked on the floor. Today, we'll get back on the court again, and hopefully that's the case. That's the one thing that we have to hold ourselves accountable for right now is the disposition of what we're trying to play and what purpose do we have. And I think if we can continue to do that, we'll continue to play hard, and we'll continue to play against really good teams and have opportunities.
Is that something that maybe is particularly important for a young team, just that ability to open up a little bit, not I assume being touchy-feely, but guys who maybe aren't comfortable being a little bit more honest or being a little bit more critical, self-critical, critical with their teammates?
I think at the end of the day, the personality of your team usually starts with your upperclassmen. Our upperclassmen, we don't have a ton. We do have a lot of younger guys that are getting experienced to the hard realities of college basketball for the first time. It's hard, it's difficult, and to do that at times you kind of want to go away. And I think that's what our team has to break through with, is more not going away from one another, more of going with one another, communicating better, pressuring each other in practice, and doing more in terms of understanding, like to get the results that we want to get. We're going to have to do it together. It's not going to be, hey, I'll go to practice today and see how it goes. It's got to be a real approach and a disposition, like I said, to want to do this thing better than we've been doing it. And I think, definitely communication, young guys in particular, learning how to talk is always a huge thing, and your experienced guys being able to express themselves as well. So, communication's a big part. This team's got a quiet personality naturally. You got some reserve guys, but you got to be in between the lines, and especially while you're working, you got to be able to communicate with one another.
Talk about the close losses to Purdue, Iowa. Is there anything execution-wise that you guys need to be doing better down the stretch of close games like that?
Yeah, we've come up short in our last 2 or 3 games at home, just with not good execution out of timeouts, or not being able to get a good shot. We turned it over a few times, and part of that is just getting better. You got to show it on film, you got to watch it, you got to drill it more in practice, and sometimes just it comes down to a play. This league, as you just watch the games, it's usually coming down to the last 4 minutes, and whoever's able to get the job done in those 4 minutes on both ends, you got to execute on both ends, usually has a chance to win, making less mistakes. And we got the stop. We end up getting the stop on that last possession, and give Harms credit on a great tap. It was a 50-50 play. Juwan had the ball almost in his hands as well. He made a great play, a winning play that knocked it in. But there were so many little things that led up to that moment that you can also control, that we got to continue to just kind of address and hone in on those things.
How much of a difference do you see between the offense you guys are practicing behind the scenes and the one that shows up in games and kind of struggles? Is there a big difference there?
I don't necessarily know there's a big difference. I think when you're in practice, obviously you play a little bit more freely. You're able to make more mistakes without the public eye, so to speak. But what you do in practice gives you great confidence that you can do it in the game. And, the one thing is we're just not shooting the ball from the perimeter as well as we need to. We sometimes get good shots. Sometimes we're right there to be able to get a good look, and it's not going down. And I think part of it is we just need some guys to step up and make some shots, and it makes it a little bit easier. It's sometimes as simple as that. But, our work in practice and what we're doing, we're spending a lot of time on some things, and hopefully we can get some carryover and some translation to be able to score more baskets.
Kind of along those lines, aside from Romeo, you haven't had a ton of consistent scoring from other guards, guys like Allen and Devontae. Has there been more of a concerted effort to get those guys going offensively, or something to work on in practice?
Yeah, we're working on them. I think those guys we're trying to really get those guys to be aggressive right now. Rob, Devontae, Al as well. I mean, those guys know right now we need those guys to be aggressive. They have to have an aggressive mentality, and they have to be willing to try and make plays for us. And I think we had some opportunities in the game against Purdue where our guards were going to have to make some plays. It was a very well-defended game on both ends. It was a very hard, physical game where you weren't getting to the line a ton, so you're going to have to make some. And we weren't able to stretch the floor a whole lot from three, obviously, but we weren't also able to get a whole lot in the paint. I think we were 7 for 27 in and around the basket, so it was counterproductive. We didn't get a whole lot of anything going, and we missed some easy ones too.
Was Tuesday more of that defensive identity that you hope to kind of hang your hat on with this team?
Yeah, without question. I mean, I think it's one of maybe our best defensive performance of the season against a really good offensive team. And I'm sure Purdue felt like they could have made more shots as well, but it was definitely a game that, as you look at it and you hang your hat on what can you control, our effort level was right there for 40 minutes. I mean, we had very little lapses at times, during the game. Lockouts, we had balls come off the rim and hit the floor. I mean, guys were really dialed in doing that. And without question, I mean, in this league and how we want to do things, that's the type of identity you want to have on especially in that type of game, the competitiveness.
Trying to zoom out question, but a lot's been made in the last couple of days about some things that were chanted during the game Tuesday night. I mean, as a coach, I know you talk a lot about crowd support and how important it is for your team. What's the line, I guess, between wanting a crowd that's energetic and tough on an opponent, but maybe one that doesn't cross wherever that line is?
We have great fans. We have unparalleled support. That arena the other night was electric, and it's one that you want to be in. Obviously, when it comes down to what was going on or what was said in the game, I wasn't paying attention to anything, so I didn't hear it until it was made a point to be afterwards. But you question, you don't want to get into the personal side of things with players. They're out there working hard. They're out there playing and competing. It's hard enough, to be in the public eye all the time. But, it was unfortunate. We'll move on from it. Definitely don't ever condone any personal sort of attacks or things like that. But without question, the arena, though, was electric. Our fans are well regarded. And I think our university, handled it in a first-class manner.
It's kind of along those lines, when you have such an emotional, such a physical game that your team obviously put a lot toward, is there a concern about that dropping off or having to maintain that to Iowa?
I don't think that you really, have the room to really think that way. I mean, we're going to have to be that way almost in every game, and if we're not, then we know that we're not going to be good enough to win. I mean, that effort level right there is something hopefully you can build on and hang your hat on and say, look, at the end of the day, make shots, don't make shots, good play, bad play. Continue with the disposition that you're in a competitive mind state. The whole team, everyone that's in there and everyone that's on the bench, everyone who's working in practice. That's what we have to hold ourselves accountable to find a way to crawl to the top and get a win. And emotional game, yes. Disappointing, yes. But it's our responsibility to be ready for Iowa.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you.